little bit. So let me start with this video, and
I want to address this video to the current Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. Mr. Vice President, the 90 million people who live in Iran, including my personal family members, are not terrorists. It's ridiculous that this even needs to be clarified at this point, especially for somebody in such a high-level government position. How are the American people supposed to trust in you to make good judgments on Iran when you don't seem to understand even a fragment of the culture, history, or basic nature of the Iranian people? Let alone the fact that ancient Persian civilization holds the oldest known human rights document, the Cyrus Cylinder. The 90 million people you mentioned are desperate not because they want to establish their terrorist infrastructure all over the world, but because they are trying to escape the terrorism that rips their families apart, the one that dims the light in every home and dwindles dinner conversations to just a few melancholy words more often than not. Those 90 million people are some of the best surgeons, artists, writers, musicians, athletes, and more. They would contribute immensely to this world and its growing need for passion and profession. For the past 47 years, so many of these young, talented people have been tortured, raped, killed, and overall held captive by a regime that does not represent their interests or desires in the slightest. And now you claim they're the same as their oppressors? Lastly, you ask how pressuring and eliminating this regime would be in America's interests. I'll provide just a few reasons. Firstly, eliminating this regime would rid the world's #1 state sponsor of terrorism, ultimately creating a safer environment for American soldiers with a weakened Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. Secondly, a free, democratic Iran is estimated to generate over $1 trillion in revenue for American firms over the next decade alone, according to the Foundation for Defensive Democracies. And lastly, the United States can actually have a stable, friendly relationship with Iran, as exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi has always championed. So no, J.D. Vance, the Iranian people are not terrorists, and pressuring the Islamic Republic is very much in America's interests. So once again, we Iranians are asking that instead of appeasing the murderous regime, you hold talks with the leaders the Iranian people actually trust, exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi and his team, not only for Iranians and their well-being, but for Americans and the entire world.
Yeah, I hope this works there. I know you're watching, Miss Ram. Let me finish typing this. I know you can hear the keyboard. So we had a hard time getting her to come on. You know, the whole internet thing and that out there is not great and stuff. So trying to get her to come on. I'm going to take a look for her when you can come on. Let me see who's here. I'll play another video in the meantime. Oh, you are in here. I sent the link in. I sent the link in Twitter and X of Miss Iran. So see if you can click on it, and it'll probably be a couple steps, and you can get in. Or anyone else that wants to come in, you can if you can't get anyone else. In the meantime, I'll play another video from what I was going to play here. We had trouble with getting her on, from today. Here, I'll play another video in the meantime.
And now I have a few comments for the Vice President himself. Mr. Vice President, you spent the better part of your interview whining about people criticizing you online and inventing conspiracies about U.S. allies like Israel, instead of actually being a man and taking responsibility for your own failures. It couldn't possibly be that Americans, Israelis, Iranians, Gulf Arabs, national security experts, or even many of your own supporters genuinely oppose your policies. No, it had to be some well-funded campaign directed by the Israeli government, an extraordinary accusation to make without the receipts to back it up, and one that conflates legal and transparent advocacy with a sinister foreign plot. Reality is much simpler. People aren't criticizing you because they were told to. They're criticizing you because your approach to the Islamic Republic has been a catastrophic failure, because you are a catastrophic failure. After all, it's you who seriously tried to claim that the regime's leaders had realized that the way they've been doing business isn't good for them. Really? This is a regime that has spent 47 years chanting death to America, murdering Americans, plotting to assassinate President Trump, taking American hostages, and exporting terrorism. They slaughtered 40,000 Iranian citizens just for protesting in January. Yet you think they're motivated by what's good for their country? They didn't have a change of heart. They played you for time, ran circles around you, and turned your naivete into their greatest strategic asset. But that wasn't enough, because you also accused Israelis of wanting indefinite war with Iran. No, JD, we don't want an indefinite war. That's precisely why we don't want to hand billions of dollars and a lifeline to the regime that spent decades launching wars. You know, the same regime that tried to assassinate the president that you serve. But what's truly remarkable is what you chose to ignore. You invent conspiracies about Israel while saying nothing about the multi-billion-dollar Qatari influence operation that has poured money into American universities, think tanks, lobbying efforts, media, and political networks. That is a proven foreign influence campaign. But apparently that isn't relevant because you can't scapegoat Qatar for your own failures. If that wasn't enough, your comments also smeared all Iranians as terrorists.
How is it in the United States' interest to have 94 million desperate people flooding into Europe, flooding into the United States, to have, sort of the terrorist infrastructure that can get established when you fan terrorists all over the world? We've run this experiment before.
The Iranian people have stood shoulder to shoulder with Israel and the United States.
Colin.
Millions of them have risked imprisonment, torture, and execution to demand the fall of the regime and to stand with the United States even in wartime. They were told help is on the way by your administration, and now you label them terrorists? How dare you speak this way?
I couldn't join. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll try to hold this up so people can see it. Let's see if I can get the right angle. We tried every which way, but I know the whole internet thing there is pretty bad.
I know.
Looks like I got to hold it on a slight angle. So far, everyone's saying hi to you, like John, Colin, Pat, and all them. So tell us. It's going to take a minute here. Oh, it's going to take me a while to hold my arm up to do this. Oh, where'd it go here? I'm trying to enlarge this. Oh, boy, where'd it go? Hold on. Did I lose it? Oh, no, it's right there. Okay. Move the phone the wrong way, and it does that. In any case, now tell us a little bit about yourself first. That's what I was going to ask you first.
Well, I prefer not to actually say my real name, but
yeah, I know.
I'm Iranian, and I lived in Iran like over 30 years. I got expelled from my university, engineering university, because of just protesting, like few chants. That was about it. I got expelled from college, and then it's just few years that I'm in the United States now, legally.
Yeah. Oh, that's. I didn't know if you wanted to give away your location at all. Exactly. And that. So they're saying you're beautiful. So we're worried about people seeing you and all that. And I know you got family still over there and that, and so you got to be worried about being identified, and then they can come back at them. But things are going. Hey, before we really get started, you see on 2C today that they're moving tanks toward the Iraqi-Kuwaiti border. Kuwaiti, they have to go through Iraq to get there. That's stupid by them. They're gonna get their tanks all blown up like quick.
I know. Well, IRGC, I don't know. Sometimes I tell my friends, it seems like IRGC themselves want to overthrow themselves more than we want that to happen. It's like they really, with the terroristic attacks everywhere in the region, they really are, I don't know, asking for suicide or something? I don't know about it.
But that's stupid to take them out of the tunnels and then start carting them across land to get over near the border. And the Peshmerga, if they get near them, they're going to blow the crap out of them. And the Iraqi, they have an Air Force still, so they'll take care of them as well too. I mean, it's really stupid.
I don't, show me one good decision from IRGC, and I will say this one is second. No, all of their decisions, because listen, it's like simply their mindset is completely away from what it should be in 2026. They're still living in 7th century. So if probably Prophet Muhammad was now, these days, here alive, he would be a Khamenei.
Wow. Wow. And then today they're bringing charges against Pahlavi because his mother had him delivered by someone who was a Jew.
Well, I really don't know about it, but I'm telling you, the Pahlavi derangement syndrome is a thing. It is a thing. I don't know, from 1970s, the leftist and globalist and, that Carter Sia thing, they all started something against Pahlavi. So I've seen, in this 50 years or so, we've seen a lot of accusations about them, but none of them were true.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. They're just insane about wanting to kill us and all that.
They're trying,
Maybe you can, since it's going to be hard for me to play videos at the same time, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up in a extreme Muslim country like that. What I do? I had something.
The good thing is that the people were not that Muslim religious thing. Like my father was someone who told me when I was 15 years old, who told me God doesn't exist. So I was in an atheist home, but outside of home, things were like, I can tell you, child abuse in our, in our youngest days. They kind of force us to chant death to America.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember those days, we had colleagues and other students that their family members were living in USA.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I remember we chanted death to USA a lot, and then we went to the classroom and we sat down by that person who had family members in USA, and then she started to talk about how USA is, and we were all into her, tell us more, we love USA.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to, we were forced, we were brainwashed into chanting, death to USA. That's so sad.
Was there any time that you believed all that, or
no,
when you were a little kid?
Never. The good thing is that I have two older brothers. So one of them is 10 years older than me, and he's like a role model for me. So from when I was even less than 10 years old, he was telling me all that. So I grew up learning the reality, not what IRGC wanted us to.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be anything but Muslim there, are you?
Exactly. Yeah. Apostasy, if you leave Islam, it is punishable by death.
Yeah. Now, what's the latest on them trying to put several people to death this last week? Every day they're killing people, right? And there's another 10 they're going to kill.
Yes, another 12. The problem is whenever they are like a wounded snake, wounded, wild animal, they will be even more wild. But they will be more wild towards who they can, who is the people, not, foreign forces. So yeah, whenever they feel threatened by the people, because right now I am smelling that the people are gonna have another uprising, and if I smell it, if Iranian journalists are smelling it, then IRGC knows that another uprising from people is on the way.
Yeah, well, actually, a little bit of it has already started happening in some areas because they are losing control, aren't they?
Exactly. So when they feel threatened by the people, when they feel afraid, they start to be more brutal. They start to execute more, just to let people know, we kill, we don't care. But we had a lot of uprisings, and Iranian people never bow down. I don't know why they don't want to believe that like, even if they kill millions of us that they already have done, we will not just
No, I've seen some there commenting that once you take back control of your country, they're going to outlaw Islam. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it will be. It will be just like the society of Germany after the Nazi regime.
Yeah, gonna like outlaw Nazism.
Whoever had the beliefs, because those beliefs are proven that they hurt society. So when you have that experience, you will not want to repeat that, bitter experience. So it will be just treated like Nazi Germany. I'm sure that people will not accept any political party, especially which has like Islamic mindset.
Oh, I know. 95% of the people want no part of it in your country. Some people find that that's hard to believe. Well, after all these years of being taught to hate,
It is like the reliable statistics that 92% of Iranian people are against Islam with the politic and stuff, So I don't think we will have it.
Yeah. Well, some people say 95 because some won't admit to it because they're afraid of the regime, a bit. So tell us.
It will be the biggest chunk of the society, so that will be like this.
Tell us a little bit about society before Carter messed it all up, and then we'll talk about Carter a little bit. Before Carter messed it all up.
Oh, well, it's so hard because all my life I was just hearing about how people were happy before, just like a couple years before I born. So I born like 10 years after that Islamic coup that happened and took over. It was a little bit hard at that time to even talk about the Shah era. Like you couldn't even openly talk about it.
I agree, John. I'm replying to someone in chat. Sorry. He says it's going to get worse before it gets better. It probably will get worse before it gets better. Although it's pretty bad now.
I mean, nothing will go worse than this. Like, what is worse than having machine gun and snipers on the building, having like you just ready to shoot, and you are just a normal civilian just walking probably to go to a cafe or go to your work, and you have a sniper on your head? What can get worse than this?
Yeah, he's saying people need to stand up and fight, but that's going to happen soon. It's already starting to happen. The Immortal Guard and the Kurdish groups are banding together.
We already have done it, and we've gotten massacred.
No, what I'm saying right now, what's happening is some Immortal Guards. Did you see that that one prison person that was torturing all those people has been killed? Too, he was known as a henchman for the way he tortured people and stuff. I forgot what his name is. I'm not great with names. One of the head ones that was responsible for having people tortured, and they'd find some seriously bad ways.
Or is it like Mullah?
Yeah, one of them just got assassinated by someone there. So.
Yeah, but this country, like if you look at the map, the world map, Iran is really a gigantic country, and it has like 92 million, population. So these stuff that happens, these are kind of rare, and it really doesn't hurt the IRGC. Like we are seeing, America is the very first, biggest, and most powerful army of the world. Is hitting them for months right now. But
well, the biggest thing is if they had a nuke, they would use it.
These rare occasions, don't help, but still it's better than nothing.
Yeah, if they had a nuke, they would use it. They're sick enough in the head to use a nuke if they had it, wouldn't they?
Of course, don't doubt.
They're willing to die to kill the rest of us. I totally think so.
It is their ideology. Listen, they say there is two ways. We either lose to the enemy, which is infidels, which is American or Israeli. We either lose to them and we die and we go to paradise, or we will win and still we will go to paradise. So there's win-win situation. There's no lose for them.
Can everyone hear if I hold the phone back here? I'm worried I'm not holding it close enough to the mic. I'm looking for chat to do that. They're talking a lot in the thing too, about the soccer game too today. Anyways, yeah. So, and I guess they killed a bunch of athletes there because they didn't toe the line or something like that. And the women's soccer players,
these are not really new to us. Unfortunately, you cannot even imagine. So we have some people who are kind of elite. They are like the very first top 10 students of Iran of all time. You know, they are extraordinary. But we have them in jail right now that we're speaking. We have them in jail. Instead of having them and using them for the country to be better, they don't care about the country.
Some debate on how many were killed by them when you guys had the uprising. Some are saying as low as 30,000, some as high as 52,000. They just gunned down.
I'm sure that it was around 100,000.
They're lying about the numbers they give out too, you know.
And it's not the very first time. Like, we lived it. We lived 47 years of lies, of like different propaganda news, the things that we know it is lies.
Thanks, John.
But they try to make us believe that. It's 47 years of that. Like, for you guys, it is new how they are brutal and how, you know, they are satanic, but we lived with it.
Thanks for the info. Patty's saying that today we bombed one of the facilities being used for a nuclear.
Well, they have to. I really think they have to, because if I have a video from one of the highest rank in IRGC that is saying that we wanted to try to have nuclear weapon. Like, it's not even a matter of question. As long as they are there, they try for nuclear weapon to hurt USA and Israel.
Well, they want to kill anyone that's not Muslim. They'd use it against anyone.
They have some kind of, you know, I don't know, special hatred for USA and Israel.
Oh, well, anyone that's not Muslim, they want to hit India too. So for the sheiks and
the first, if they get opportunity to hurt Americans, Israelis, or Indians, they first go for Israelis, then they go for USA.
Yeah, I guess they're thinking of going into Kuwait and try to take 100 USA prisoners, so they have hostages, and they would use that as leverages.
I've heard that in some kind of interview, but that interview was literally coming from a person which is the highest rank in IRGC, but we believe that he is like a slow and low IQ person. So when he said that, we were just laughing at him. He was saying that I want to take, I don't know, 100,000 Americans as captives and then charge USA like $1 billion for each.
Yeah, Pat, was that underground or above ground? If it's above ground, it probably is a plant. She's saying it was a nuclear plant. What's that, Miss Iran?
Yeah, I said, like, all their ideas are so stupid, and it's about that 7th century's idea, you know?
Oh, I doubt she can speak to that. Pat's asking if you know anything about sleeper cells here in America. I'm sure there is some.
Oh, there are a lot. And we've been trying since we are here in USA, but more from 2022. The recent uprising, if you remember. From that time, we are really trying hard to even put the pictures, put the names of real names of people who are working for IRGC, but they are in USA and harming USA. It's so interesting that we have a tweet from like 3 years ago with a name and picture of someone that an Iranian is saying to FBI that please investigate this person 3 years ago. Now, just like last month or something, FBI caught him.
So Pence asked.
Believe us. When we say something, we'll live under it. So believe us. We know more about them rather than you.
Some are saying you're really brave because they know they do assassinate people. Pat's also asking about if you know whether the IRGC was responsible for that school being blown up, or if it was a misfire by America, or
So
you think it was a malfunctioning one of their missiles, or do you think they did that for propaganda?
I'm going to tell you. So there are reliable news from Voice of America. They have videos of that school with active launcher in it, and even on the wall of that school, it's written IRGC Navy School of, that is the even the school for children of IRGC, and they had active missile launcher in it.
Well, they also use people for human shields all the time.
Always. Like, it is what they do. See, they have the biggest Shia, person that they are so obsessed with was the third Imam of Shia, which 14 centuries ago, he had a war and he take his 6-month-old infant in front of the enemy as a human shield, and the enemy killed the baby, and now they are 14 centuries, they are grieving for that. So see, when that is starting of this ideology, you know that it will continue forever.
Now, Shia and Sunni kill each other all the time, especially the Shia, right?
Yeah, they hate each other. Usually, Sunni people don't believe that Shia are Muslim at all.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of Weebans that are in China?
No, not really.
Well, Weebans like a small Muslim group, I guess. I've met some of them, and they are.
Yeah, they call them Uyghur, if I'm not mistaken, Uyghur, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember that they've been killed by China, but IRGC, Islamic regime, never talked about it. They never talked about it.
Uh-huh. You got a troll in the chat.
It's like their bestie.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just reading some of the comments. It's funny. They use babies as shields in Afghanistan too. Yeah, they did.
Everywhere there is Islam, there is human shield with women and children.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Afghan, from what I've seen, it's very tribal there in Afghan.
Definitely. Well, except that it's tribal, it is about different ethnicity that they have. So they have like 3 major ethnicities, which right now the Pashtun ethnicity are from Taliban, which have the control of the country. They are Sunni Muslim, and they have this tradition of selling daughters. They sell their daughters to pay their bills. Yeah.
They sell them, and they have child marriages and at 6 and stuff like that.
Even like young boys, like 6-year-old boys.
Oh, they marry off 6-year-old boys to women or to guys?
No, to guys. It's about the Bakshabazi tradition.
Wow.
So Taliban, because they are so Islamic, they don't, I don't know, bring like girls to dance for them or something because that's not halal. So what they do, they use younger boys. They put jewelry on them, they put makeup on them, and the boys will dance for them, and then they will be molested and you know what else.
Well, someone asked about the goats thing. There's a rumor about that, and 72 goats and all that. That's kind of funny. I know in Pakistan they definitely do it with goats, and in fact, there's videos of them doing it with donkeys out there.
Yeah, I've seen that in Pakistan as well. Well, actually, Islamic regime and people who are involved with it, they are not so much better than Taliban. You know that Ayatollah Khomeini, who is the founder of Islamic regime, he has a book of law, a book of Sharia law written by him, and he has written, if you did something with the donkey, what you should do to the donkey, not to the man who did it. So you can see it's something like, I guess, norm for them, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a video. I tried to put it up, and Facebook wouldn't let me, and stuff like that. I'm getting away with a lot of it on Getter. That's why I share a lot of stuff from Getter to you often. Now there's different factions. Talk about one I sent to you about the Arab ones that are against the regime, but they're separatist. If you could, I don't know if you remember which one I'm talking about. They're kind of near the border of Kuwait. And,
yes, they are separatist and dangerous and violent.
oh, they're violent because they're doing a hunger strike right now, and there's also a hunger strike in one of the prisons there as well. Right now.
Okay, if you are a terrorist, if you kill civilians, if you have like bombs here and there, but then you go on hunger strikes, who cares, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're being treated well by the regime either, but
they shouldn't. I'm telling you, I remember, like, I born and raised in Ahvaz, and it's exactly the place in the town that these separatist Arabs want to separate from Iran. So I guess I personally told you, but I absolutely remember when I was in high school, it should be in 2000, not even 2010. In 2000, they started a battle against not just IRGC, against Persians.
I'm sorry I'm laughing at chat. One of them said the evil donkeys are responsible for seducing these innocent Islam people.
For real.
I'm sorry I was laughing at that one.
It's everyone's fault except us, right? So yeah, I guess I told you about those days when I was in high school, and these separatist Arabs attacked. And like we wouldn't care if they were just attacking the military, right? But they were attacking the civilians only who couldn't speak Arabic. So like if it was me or my father there, they would talk to me in Arabic. When I cannot speak, they will kill me. And yeah, so these kind of people are dangerous and not welcomed.
Oh boy, yeah, boy. I don't know. How many languages do you speak? I know one person I'll tell you in a minute who's Kurdish.
I kind of speak 4, but like not fluently about those 2.
Believe it or not, I know someone who used to be a translator that used to help me catch these ISIS people who speaks 13. She's a Kurdish woman.
Wow.
I thought that was impossible. But it's things like Arabic, and she lived in Saudi Arabia briefly when Saddam, after Khalid chased them all out and killed a lot of them and all that. Then they had to go up to Turkey for a while. She speaks even Russian, so I don't know how the hell she does that.
That's impressive.
Very, very much so. But she ended up quitting doing that and becoming a doctor. Sometime when we're not live like this, I'll show you who she is and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and I'll tell you where she lives, not now. So she's definitely moved way out of that area. So, she stopped being a translator because she was translating for there was Arabs trying to steal Kurdish lands from them, and she had to talk both sides of the deal. And she was getting mad because they were stealing the land, basically getting it for almost nothing. So I'm laughing at.
Court's story is so complicated because they are kind of like they're Iranian people. Like they are not.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a talk about it. The ones about the separatist things, I can understand it in Turkey because of Erdogan. I can understand.
Yeah, like I can understand those, but I cannot understand if anyone wants the Iranian Kurdistan away because, like, our courts, which, like, I'm half Kurd, right? Our courts are really respected and loved by other.
They're good fighters too, aren't they?
Sorry?
They're very good fighters.
They are.
They're so. Maybe take her picture down. Oh, I'm holding it up. I don't know which one you're talking about. I don't understand, Pat. Oh, now she said things. So next time I'll get her picture up on the screen. We'll get her on the computer somehow. We tried earlier today and it didn't work. So.
All right. I guess I will see you guys later too.
Oh, okay. Someone asked about the water issue, because they could have done a lot more on the water issue, and they put all their money into weapons and trying to kill people and funding other things.
It's not only water. The thing is that you should know this rule, and then you can believe everything else. Rule 1: they don't care anything about civilians.
No.
They don't. It's not their priority. Not in top 10, at least. And they have actually confessed it. Like Khamenei himself said that Iran doesn't matter. Islam matters. So whatever helps Islam, which is right now Palestine and stuff, that is priority for them. We Iranian people who don't want Islam, we are enemy. We are actually enemy.
Oh, it's her decision to put herself on the screen. They're worried about your anonymity. I'm not saying where you live or anything. So.
It's okay. Well, hopefully nothing will happen.
No, with the water, they had aqueducts, and Pahlavi did a good job of building all those, and they've all gone to trash since they've gone in. Because they.
We always say, we Iranians, we say that if we didn't have Pahlavi, we would be another Afghanistan. Like we had the potential to become another Afghanistan. If we are a proud nation now, it's all because of Pahlavi.
Jiva Sa or something like that means long live the king.
Yes,
Javi Shah. I can't say it right. Yeah, I'll learn it eventually. I had to learn a few Kurdish words back in the day, but I pretty much forgot them. Spas and. Now Kurdish speak two different languages also. Kamunji and another one.
No, they have many different languages. So we have right now I have a video. I will send it to you after this
okay.
Live. There are 3 Iranian Kurdish girls which they cannot understand each other's Kurdish. And they should speak Farsi to each other.
Yeah.
So even culturally,
that's Persian. Farsi is Persian, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And even the cultures are completely different. Like if you look at the Kurdish people in Turkey,
that was a Kuwait.
They rarely speak Kurdish now because of whatever Turkey has done to them. I don't know.
I'm so surprised that almost every single one of them can speak some English at least.
Yeah, but the mother language, the way that they speak in Iraq and they speak in Iran, the way that they speak, like their mother language, they have no problem. The Turks didn't have this luxury. The Kurdish Turks didn't have this luxury. So again, I understand if a Kurdish person in Turkey wants to get separated.
Well, they kill them there for speaking Kurdish there.
That is very bad. That is very bad that they stop them from speaking their mother tongue. but it doesn't happen in Iran at all.
Pat, I heard about the water things. They hit the water things in Kuwait. Iran did. So that's like life and death there. They have water treatment plants in some of those countries.
Yeah, they are actually hitting some, I guess, oil and refinery stuff in Bahrain too.
Yeah, they're trying to drive the price up.
Bahrain right now is under attack.
Yeah, well, they're doing that by fear. There is kind of enough supply, kind of borderline on that, but there's enough supply. But they're driving the fear up to drive the cost up. That's how they're trying to get America. You know, we don't lose unless we quit. You know what I mean?
Right.
They win if they stay in power. That's our only goal, is to stay in power.
Exactly, you got that right. So right now, they consider themselves the winners of this war because they're still there, because they didn't, overthrow.
Not yet. I think the people will. If you go a little bit longer.
Soon they will be.
Well, I think it's really insane for them to move their tanks when we can blow them up while they're on the road moving them.
Well, I hope it gets more and more, but
it's pretty stupid. Unless they're getting desperate,
I think America is gonna get even more hard, and I think it will lose Israel too.
Yeah. Well, I don't think. I mean, you have to have them come in, because then some of the Gulf states, don't like that. That's what I think the issue is there. I think and that's why you don't see Iran hitting Israel right now. Because they don't want them to get in.
They know if they hit Israel will end them. They know that.
Yeah, they have the capability of doing
They
that.
very well know that America is not wanting to overthrow them. They're happy about it.
Yeah.
That's why they attack American bases, but not Israeli places.
Someone asked, how is your family doing there with the economics?
Well, it's so hard for them. So hard. They cannot even get, supplements, the vitamins or something to eat, so they can't just afford food for them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And that's really hard, too. I would think that was hard because...
it's just like you are alive, but you're not living.
Yeah, I also seen that they were cutting back electricity to a lot of the people so they could use the electricity for the IRGC.
Yes, I told you. Anything which matters to people, they go against it.
This war could be over with USA if they gave up their nukes. Because Trump would have to say yes then.
They don't want to do that.
They want to kill so bad.
They even didn't care that Khamenei got killed.
Oh, no, not really. Now, someone on the last show asked, do you really think that Hanmi Jr. there is still alive? The third one?
No, he's dead. He's so dead.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think they're just using his name to keep... Because there's a lot of factions. There's a lot of factions that are fighting each other amongst each other.
They have a lot going on. They cannot handle that one.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing about comments. They're talking about the poor animals and them having sex. They are that sick. I don't know what it is.
Can I join in later and next lives?
Yes. Next time I'm going to have you come on the screen if you will, and then I could actually play a little more of these clips and you could.
Thank you.
All right. You want me to let you go for now, and you can jump in with the chat there if you want, if you would.
Yeah, I will be there. I will be reading.
We do have a troll in there saying about that that Iran's kicking USA's butt. I don't see him in the chat now.
That's just a joke.
Yeah, that's insane. A lot of them did.
All right. Have a very good evening, Jerry.
Oh, they don't. We have no ID of you. You're Miss Iran. They're worried about your family being flogged or something like that. They're too busy right now, though, aren't they?
Yeah, right.
They're losing power, and all their proxies are done.
After the war.
Yeah, we'll get you on to here soon, okay? As soon as you can get your computer connection to this working, okay?
Yeah, sure. We'll work on it. Thank you so much.
All right. God bless you. Big hugs. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let me hang this up. Oh, sorry about that. Let me finish playing this a little bit here, and then I'll play the next. I got to put my ear thing in because I won't be able to hear it. Yeah, she's actually brave, and her family is right there. And I have been able to talk to some people right there, but I cannot give away a lot of details. There is an uprising, and they're getting in position. They're taking out certain key people, like a lot of them that would torture them if they catch them, and stuff like that. They're trying to kill some. They're trying everything. They're getting so desperate, it's ridiculous. Let me see if I can get back the link from here. Where did I put that? Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me finish playing this for you.
A real leader takes responsibility when he gets things wrong. He doesn't blame his failures on allies or invent conspiracies to explain why people disagree with him. We don't need a paid campaign to criticize you, JD. Your own words, your own judgment, and your own failures have done that for you.
Yep. Let me play this one. Well, I was going to play this while she was on, actually. This is Iran before Durkas and the communists worked together to take over. They did have a king there. Now, the thing about Pahlavi, he's not coming back to be king. He's coming back to run it until they have elections and stuff like that. He's not trying to be the president again or king or anything like that. He's just trying to get him upright and running it again. Miss Iran, you mean the transgender leader is the third one that's dead actually now? Or? No video? Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault about the video. That's my fault. I didn't put that back up on stage. Thanks, Pat, for letting me know. I'll rewind it. You probably could hear it, but I'll rewind it. Hold on. I got to turn this on. Make sure the sound's on for that. Oh, I did it wrong. I got to redo it. Make sure the sound's on. There's like 6 steps to this. Okay. There we go. Add to stage. There we go. Thanks for letting me know, John.
والله أول ما لبسوني يعني حسيت حالي مخنوقة وإنه يعني انزعجت كتير وقلهم ما بدي ألبس بس ما بيخلوني يقولوا لي إنه لازم تلبسي كلهم عم يلبسوا. والله مرات إنه بس يخطفوا إنه أشلح ما ألبس يقولوا لي قدام الأخوة ما تطلعين هيك وما بعرف شو بس أشلح كل ما أشوفهم مختفين أشلح. بس والله هلا جيت وشلحتهم وحرقتهم وخلصت منهم والحمد لله. يا ريت اقدر انه يجيبوا لي داعش واحرقهم مثل ما حرقت لبسي. اي مع الكل طلعنا امبارحه وقالوا لنا الاخوه انه السياره جاهزه اطلعوا. قلتلن انه قالوا لي بتطلعي الاخ مو موجود انتي معاه قلت له لا بدي اطلع. هو قال لي انه خلص انتي حرة وين ما بدك روحي عند اهلي قلت قاطعين وين ما بدك روحي. جهزت حالي وطلعت معاهم. بعد ما وصلنا بالليل اختفيت من عندهم وجيت عند الفكيكة وسلمت حالي.
درود بر مردم ایران زمین. امروز مورخ 27/4/1405 برابر با ششمین روز اعتصاب مظلومانه 1500 نفر از زندانیان محکوم به اعدام زندان قزلسار و بیش از 5000 نفر از اعدامیان زندانهای سراسر کشور می باشد. از تمامی مردم ایران و سازمانها و نهادهای حقوق بشری سراسر جهان استدعا داریم که صدای بی صدای این مظلومان در بند باشید. برای نجات جان این زندانیان هر لحظه درنگ برابر با عزادار شدن خانواده های بیشتری خواهد شد. مردم عزیز ایران، هموطنان گرامی، ما تا پای جان برای رسیدن به رهایی به اعتصابمان ادامه خواهیم داد. این گونه پیداست که قصد قطع ارتباط ما با دنیای خارج از زندان را دارند. به هوش باشید و آگاه باشید. نه به اعدام، نه به اعدام، نه به اعدام.
من رویایی دارم، رویای آزادی، رویای یک لحظه بی وقفه از شادی. من رویایی دارم از جنس بیداری، رویای تسکین این درد تکراری، درد جهانی که از عشق تهی میشه، درد درختی که میخشکه از ریشه، درد زنانی که محکوم آزارند.
باید برگردید از اول، حرفم زیادن گوشاتون خیلی تنبلن، جون بکنید بدن جواهر را ول کن، من خود معدنم، این شروعی بی پایان آدمای میرو.
This is exactly how it started in Iran. In 1970s, Iran, people laughed off the Islamists. They said it was harmless. A few years later, they lost their country. Today, Americans choose.
This is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan. Welcome to Mamdani's New York.
Iran has seen this movie before, trust me. You don't want the sequel.
I didn't know I was muted. I think I muted it when I typed one time. Thanks, John. I do see it on my phone because I'm on different screens here and stuff like that. So you didn't hear anything I was saying at some of the times here. All right, here's where the 54,000 civilians massacred. At least 52,000. It's hard to get a good number. Oh, I don't think I can share much of this because they'll pull me down. I was going to show this right at the end. I'll save that for right at the end then. This is them singing after us bombing them. And they're saying, please keep bombing. Please keep bombing. That's what they're singing. They're singing to keep bombing.
All we want is peace, to be free, to be ourselves in our own streets. Exiled Iranians, no more need to roam. Once we take them down, you're welcome home. To all the leftists on the side of the IRGC, stop watching that propaganda, the BBC. Javicha, Javicha, Javicha. The real king of Iran is coming home.
That's where you get the Javi Shah from. Epic Iranians now watching USA strikes. Oh yeah, they're celebrating as their country's getting hit. Watch this. They're loving it. They're actually setting up roof parties and stuff like that to watch. Oh, I played the same one. Sorry, it was my fault. It was right next to it.
At 4:17 p.m., Iran launched everything they had. 44 anti-ship missiles fired from 7
John, you'll like this one.
Locations, coastal batteries, islands, fast attack boats, hidden launchers, all converging on one target, USS Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, yeah, it was me pausing it to talk about each clip. That's why. I'm sorry I made it look like that.
The carrier, the symbol, the threat. Iran's plan was perfect. Saturation attack, overwhelm American defenses, sink the carrier, kill thousands, force Trump to negotiate, show the world America's armada can be stopped. Revolutionary Guard commander in Bandar Abbas, fire all missiles, sink that carrier. Today we defend Iran. Allah Akbar. 44 missiles screaming toward 5 American ships. Flight time, 90 seconds. But what Iran didn't know, what they couldn't know, would cost them everything. First, those 5 ships had already detected the launches. Aegis systems tracking every missile, countermeasures ready. Second, 16 FA-18 Super Hornets were airborne, combat air patrol, armed, waiting. Third, 8 AH-1Z Viper helicopters from USS Bataan were 30 seconds from firing range. Fourth, 2 Japanese destroyers were operating with the strike group, ready to defend. Fifth, every Iranian position that fired, every base, every launcher, every command center was already locked in American targeting computers, waiting for authorization. Sixth, the moment those missiles launched, that authorization was granted. 33 minutes, 44 missiles defeated, not one ship touched, 12 Iranian bases obliterated, Tehran's entire coastal defense network destroyed.
Amen. I bet you like that part, John. Sorry about it's my memory, really. I can't remember if I muted or didn't mute because I'm on a different screen. I got like 9 or 10, 11 tabs open. So I have to go back and forth to different things and kind of monitoring all of them and stuff like that. So this is I didn't delete this one yet. All right. So we got that. I'm going to delete this one. All right. Let me go with this surrender thing.
Iran is now eating itself alive. And that is not just a metaphor. That is the breaking news coming.
Yeah, we'll get her back on. We'll get her back on for sure. It's just an internet connection thing.
Coming out of Tehran right now, viewers. The same parliament that chanted revenge for its slain leaders just 48 hours ago has turned around and fired the two men who shouted loudest for that revenge, who called for Donald Trump's assassination. I'm talking about Iran's National Security and Foreign Policy Committee, the nerve center of Iran's war and peace decisions. And in one quiet vote on Tuesday, it just got a very public makeover. Two hardliners thrown out, two critics of talks with Washington gone, and a message sent to every hawk in Tehran right now is fall in line or fall out. Hello and welcome. I am Nikita Kapoor and you are watching Decode. And stay with me, viewers, because this is not just parliamentary reshuffling. This is Iran choosing a side in its own war and its own civil war of ideas. Let's rewind a little. Monday, Iran's parliament, the Majlis, reconvenes for the first time in over 4 months. 4 months of silence amid war, 4 months of a legislature that simply did not meet. More on why in a bit. Tuesday, barely a day later, comes the vote that is shaking Tehran's corridors right now. Mahmoud Nabavian, stripped of his post as the committee's first deputy chairman. Ebrahim Rezai, removed as its spokesperson. Now, if you don't follow Iranian politics daily, those names might mean nothing to you. Let me tell you why they mean everything in Tehran right now and how this changes everything from war to the Iranian power struggle. These were not backbenchers. These were the loudest, angriest voices against any deal with America. Nabavian called negotiations with the United States an absolute loss, warning that talking to America only ever brings, and I'm quoting here, broken promises, deception, and benefits for the enemy. Rezai wasn't quieter. He said Iran was not scared of Donald Trump's threats. He said Tehran was ready to fight any evil. He even praised the Revolutionary Guards, the IRGC, for asserting control over the Strait of Hormuz, the same stretch of water that triggered the second phase of war. Now, these two men were the loudest hawks in the room, and now they don't even have a seat at the table anymore. Read between the lines, viewers, here. And the signal is unmistakable. This is a committee being reshaped to be less confrontational towards US, not more. US may not be able to topple the Iranian regime at once, but it is certainly making some changes inside of it. Now, here is where this turns interesting, because Mahmoud Nabavian did not just criticize the talks from the sidelines, he went further, much, much further. On state television, he read out on air viewers what he claimed were excerpts from secret letter involving Iran's supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, on the negotiations with the United States of America. Mojtaba's a letter.
Now remember, they lie all the time, so the guy was lying.
Sentence. The broadcast was cut. Just cut. Gone. Iranian state TV pulled the plug on a sitting lawmaker live in the middle of his own claim. And what did he say before the feed died? That Mojtaba Khamenei had repeatedly objected to how the talks were going, that he had set red lines never reflected in the actual memorandum with the United States. Compensation from Washington, protection for Iran's uranium enrichment, and total Iranian control over the Strait of Hormuz. He even claimed that come
in chat. Let me know if you want me to get her on as a guest again. Try to get her on without trying to do it through my phone. Let me know. It was on her end, the computer issue. She was having trouble internet-wise.
Khomeini wanted Iran to start charging ships for the privilege of passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, that is explosive. That is not just political disagreement. That is alleging that the country's own negotiators quietly abandoned and betrayed the supreme leader's own conditions. And that is exactly what Nabavian was saying. Now, remember that detail that Parliament hadn't met in 4 long months since this war began? That wasn't a scheduling issue. That was strategy. Hardliners aligned with the ultra-conservative Paydari Front had spent months
my mic is on. You can't hear me?
Accusing Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf of deliberately keeping Parliament shut to stop the lawmakers from taking action against the United States talks. They wanted Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi's head on a platter, repeatedly demanding his resignation over the negotiations. Now, Ghalibaf's office had a different explanation.
Can anyone hear me?
The suspension, they said, came on instructions from Iran's security establishment that it is not safe to convene the parliament. Either way, for 4 months, Iran's parliament was effectively benched, and the moment it came back, the 2 men most likely to turn that chamber into a war room against diplomacy got quietly shown the exit door. Here is the story underneath the story, viewers. Iran just fought a brutal war with Israel and the United States of America. It is still under attack. Its military command structure was killed. Its nuclear infrastructure was hit. Its supreme leader's own inner circle was torn apart by multiple strikes. And now, in the aftermath, there are effectively 2 different Irans arguing with each other. One Iran says, never trust Washington. The other Iran says, the one that appears to be winning this particular internal argument right now, says, we survive by talking, not by chest thumping. So there are 2 different Irans. Iran did not just reshuffle a parliamentary committee this week. It answered a question it has been avoiding since the war ended and began again. Does it negotiate or does it dig trenches? This particular vote was the answer, viewers, for now. But in Tehran, that for now has a very short shelf life. We will be watching every move from here, so you don't have to. Is this a win for the...
Pat, they're saying that regime is falling apart inside, so they're not as afraid of it as they were. So that's why she came on. I've been talking to her for quite a while, actually. And now they're seeing on the ground there that they don't have these checkpoints anymore and all this and that. And they're doing a lot more on the ground there. They're able to get around to each other and pass things along. So there's going to be an uprising, you know. So I think they're seeing that it's going down one way or another, you know. Just a little bit longer and they're going to collapse from within. Especially if these idiots move their tanks toward the border, they're putting them on the back of these trucks. You can hit that. You can hit those with the planes like it'd be a shooting gallery. It's crazy. And you're gonna go. You got to go into Iraq, and the Peshmergas, they have tanks. They have better tanks than they do. A lot of those tanks they got from us when they were fighting ISIS. And Iraq has tanks. They have an air force. It's suicide. It's absolute suicide.
United States of America. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. This is Nikita Kapoor signing off.
They get pretty good reports there. All right, here. Now I'm going to play this little short one, then this other short one. Then I'm going to show about these tunnels. We found a way to get bombs to go inside their tunnels. I'm going to talk about that right at the end here.
This is Lia Lotfalian. She's a rescue. She went on the streets to be able to help the wounded protesters, and look at how the Islamic Republic killed her with a shotgun on January 9th, 2026. This is the reality of Islamic Republic.
They shot her right in the back, right into your spine, just below your neck here. They shot her there with a shotgun. They're running out of bullets too. They're having problems with bullets. Now China right now, because since we're blowing out the bridges, has been flying nonstop planes in with supplies. It's not going to be enough, but they are doing that. This is one of the things they hit, where they had a lot of the missiles. They were saving the missiles at the headquarters of the things. And a lot of times they use human shields too.
No fucking way! Oh shit! Oh shit! No, baby! No! Are we dangerous here? Yeah, we're dangerous. Oh my.
Now the ones recording this are Iranians. A lot of them speak English very well.
My God! Oh dear! Are you filming? Yes, I'm filming! Wow! Wow! I think we are dead.
See these secondary explosions? There's missiles down the tunnel. In the next video, I'm going to show you about these tunnels. And that's where they're hiding a lot of their missiles, is way down these deep tunnels. We found a way of not going through the top. I'll show you.
Let's go! Let's go down!
And someone said about the nuclear plants that they're burying a lot of these tunnels underneath these nuclear plants, which is insane to me, but I don't know. All right, here's a report about the tunnels.
Billions of dollars in tunnel.
They're supposed to be indestructible.
Construction buried under granite that formed 400 million years ago. The IRGC chose the hardest rock formation on the Iranian plateau.
The air quality. I don't think they're worried. They sound pretty happy those places are going up.
They drilled horizontal shafts into mountainsides, installed automated rail systems, and stored enough ballistic missiles to threaten every US base in the Middle East for a decade. On paper, the engineering was flawless. Granite absorbs almost nothing. It compresses under load without cracking. It shrugs off conventional bombs the way a bank vault shrugs off a hammer. The IRGC's engineers knew this. They studied it. They built an entire military doctrine around it. And they were right about everything except one thing: what granite does to a blast wave once it gets inside. Have you ever looked at a weapons system and wondered whether the thing protecting it is actually the thing that destroys it? Tell me in the comments. This is Eagle Eye Military. Subscribe so you catch the next forensic breakdown. The IRGC calls them missile cities. That name is not propaganda. The term describes a network of underground tunnel complexes stretching across at least 12 provinces in Iran. Construction started in the mid-2000s and accelerated between 2016 and 2020 when the Hajiabad missile base in Hormozgan province alone added 7 hardened vertical launch silos, each 16 meters in diameter, into the rock 130 kilometers north of Bandar Abbas. The typical tunnel sits between 30 and 80 meters below the surface. Some, dug into mountain cores, reach depths the IRGC claims exceed 500 meters. The depth varies with geology and purpose, but even the shallowest of these facilities requires a specialized penetrating weapon to reach. These facilities store Shahab-3 liquid-fueled ballistic missiles, Sajil solid-fueled medium-range missiles, Khaybar-Shekan precision-guided missiles, and Pave land attack cruise missiles. The Yazd missile base alone has been targeted at least 6 times since the war started in...
Now this is something that we're starting to hit now, and they've got a lot of these.
February. The IRGC keeps rebuilding. The tunnels keep absorbing strikes. The KONSH Canyon complex near Kermanshah features dozens of tunnels, several exceeding 1 kilometer in length. Each houses mobile transporter erector launchers on rail systems that can move a Sajil from storage to launch position and back underground in under 60 seconds. The facility generates its own power from internal diesel generators, circulates its own air through dedicated ventilation shafts, and operates independently of Iran's civilian electrical grid.
Imagine how many billions they spent on that, and the people can't even get water, and they're all poor there They're very smart, but they're very poor. Just so they could have these missiles, and they've got some that'll hit England and almost hit the coast of America. And they're going to put a nuke warhead on those. They don't care if they die. We didn't hit them back with a nuke, as long as they kill us.
In Hyderabad, open-source satellite imagery identified rotating missile racks inside the tunnel system. These racks enable rapid reloading, cycling a fresh missile into launch position before the previous one clears the silo. The system was designed to sustain continuous fire during a prolonged engagement. Not a single salvo in retreat, but a conveyor belt. The logic behind all of this is sound. A tunnel 50 meters underground in granite forces an attacker to solve a penetration problem that physics makes extremely expensive. The heaviest conventional bomb in the American arsenal, the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, weighs 30,000 pounds. It carries 5,300 pounds of high explosive in a case made from Eglin steel alloy, designed to survive deceleration forces exceeding 10,000 Gs during impact. At maximum performance, the MOP penetrates approximately 60 meters of 5,000 pounds per square inch reinforced concrete, or 40 meters of moderately hard rock. Granite is harder than moderately hard rock. The IRGC knew this when they chose their locations. Fordow, the enrichment facility, sits under 80 meters.
Now watch how USA solved this issue. They figured out a way, and I think that's part of the reason why after the first hits he wanted to do the delay so they could come up with a way to do this.
Of granite. Pickaxe Mountain, near Natanz, goes deeper, between 90 and 145 meters according to Reuters. At those depths, the MOP reaches the rock but does not reach the chambers. The math said the tunnels were invincible. The math was correct. The vulnerability was never the rock. On July 17, 2026, CENTCOM completed its 7th consecutive night of strikes against Iran. The target list included a category that had not appeared in any previous night of the July campaign: underground weapons storage facilities. Strikes hit locations at Jask, Sirik, Bushehr, Bandar Abbas, Keshem Island, Avaz, and Yazd. CENTCOM confirmed the operation used fighter aircraft, aerial drones, and warships. The statement did not name the weapon types used. It did not describe the damage. It described the targets. Underground weapons. Storage. The significance of that phrase lives in 2 words: weapons storage. Not command centers, not radar, not launch platforms. Storage. The facilities where...
And Colin, I couldn't say something earlier. Thank heavens for you and your daughter. And I heard what she said to you and everything. I read what she said to you.
Munitions sit stacked in tunnels, waiting. The question is not whether American bombs can reach the deepest chambers. At 500 meters, they cannot. The question is whether they need to. In March 2025, the IRGC released a propaganda video. 2 senior commanders, Major General Mohammad Hossein Bagheri, Chief of Staff of Iran's Armed Forces, and Brigadier General Amir Ali Hajizadeh, commander of the IRGC Aerospace Force, drove through one of their missile cities on camera. The video showed Khaybar Shekans, Qadar Haas, Sajils, and Pave cruise missiles stored along tunnel walls. The footage was set to music. The message was clear. Look at what we have, look at how deep it goes, and understand that you cannot reach it. Defense analysts saw something else entirely. The missiles sat in open, continuous tunnels. There were no blast doors between storage sections, no separated revetments, no isolation barriers.
So what do you think when you have all these lined up and you can get a bomb to go down the tunnel? And one after another is what you're seeing there blowing up. They have fires, and they're talking about earthquakes that are happening in Tehran and stuff like that. They've hit one of these facilities so far. There's more of them to go.
Of any kind between adjacent munitions. The weapons were arranged nose to tail along rail systems designed for speed, not survival. A tunnel optimized for 60-second reload is also a tunnel optimized for one thing no engineer wants to talk about: sympathetic detonation. Sympathetic detonation is what happens when one munition explodes and its blast wave or fragments initiate the munition next to it. The first round is called the donor. The second is called the receptor. When the receptor detonates, it becomes a new donor. The chain moves through the tunnel at the speed of the detonation wave itself. The Sejil missile carries...
So at one of the sites in Iran right now, this is happening. One after another one is blowing up continuously for hours.
Solid rocket propellant classified as Class 1.1, the NATO designation for mass detonation hazard material. This classification means the propellant is specifically susceptible to sympathetic detonation from shock, fragment impact, or thermal exposure. The very fuel that makes the Sejil quick to launch, its solid propellant that requires zero fueling time before firing, is the same fuel that makes it catastrophically sensitive to a blast wave inside a sealed space. An analyst studying the IRGC's tunnel program wrote that the Revolutionary Guard prepared for this war by building railways inside mountains, that the rockets are replaceable but the railways are permanent, and that the granite protecting them formed before mammals existed. The granite is permanent. The flaw is in what sits inside it. Which part of this equation surprises you more? That the IRGC filmed their own vulnerability, or that the physics was always there and the design ignored it? When the GBU-72 Advanced 5K penetrator...
I bet you're right, Pat. That would cause that. They're having some mild earthquakes there.
5,000-pound bomb first used in combat on March 17th of this year against hardened Iranian coastal missile sites near the Strait of Hormuz enters a sealed tunnel.
I wonder how many people were down in these tunnels, because they're going to die with the compression. You know, just the air compression will kill them.
The warhead does not detonate on contact with the rock. The weapon carries a void-sensing fuse.
Yeah, it's way too early for me too, John.
This fuse measures what the bomb passes through. Rock registers as continuous resistance. When the casing transitions from solid material into empty space, the cavity of the tunnel itself, the fuse detects the pressure change and fires. The bomb detonates inside the chamber, not before it. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane confirmed the mechanism at a Pentagon briefing in March.
So if they can get those cavities to have compression and undo the compression, you know, back and forth, it triggers the bombs to go off inside the tunnels. And they knew this.
He described the weapons as designed to get through concrete or rock and function after penetrating those barriers. In open air, a conventional high-explosive detonation produces a blast wave that expands in all directions, losing pressure as it radiates outward. The overpressure peak at a given distance follows a predictable decay curve. The blast wind lasts a fraction of a second. The thermal pulse dissipates into atmosphere. The event is violent. It is also brief.
How could they create an earthquake machine? They just shake the ground, Marianne?
Inside a sealed tunnel, the physics reverses. The blast wave hits the tunnel wall. Granite is nearly incompressible. It absorbs almost no energy. The wave reflects back at near full strength. It crosses the tunnel, hits the opposite wall, reflects again. The UK Health and Safety Executive, which studied underground ammunition storage, found that blast winds in tunnels last far longer than those above ground. Research published in the Journal of Physics measured overpressure. Peaks inside sealed tunnels at up to 7 times higher than at the same distance in open air. 7 times. The granite the IRGC chose for protection is the best blast reflector on the planet. Limestone would crumble and absorb energy. Clay would deform. Granite bounces the wave back at full force. The hardest rock available creates the highest overpressure available. The initial detonation is only the first event. Most military high explosives, including TNT and RDX-based compositions like PE4, are oxygen deficient. They do not consume all their fuel during detonation.
I can see your post. It took a minute to come up.
Open air, the unburned detonation products disperse harmlessly into the atmosphere. Inside a sealed tunnel, those hot gases have nowhere to go. They react with the oxygen trapped inside the tunnel in a secondary combustion event called afterburning. Controlled tests published in the journal Defense Technology in January 2025 measured the afterburning effect directly. Peak overpressure inside a sealed chamber increased by 77% compared to the detonation alone. The sustained quasi-static pressure, the prolonged crushing force that persists after the initial blast wave passes, increased by 120%. The tunnel does not just reflect the blast, it feeds it. The initial detonation consumes oxygen, generates extreme heat, and the unburned explosive products ignite in the remaining atmosphere, producing a second pressure event that doubles the sustained load on everything inside the space. A Sejal missile stored 15 meters from the detonation point receives the reflected blast wave at 7 times open-air overpressure. Then the afterburning event doubles the sustained pressure. The Class 1.1 solid propellant inside the Sejal's motor casing reaches its shock sensitivity threshold. The propellant ignites. The missile becomes a new detonation source. Its blast wave propagates down the tunnel, striking the next missile in the rail sequence 3 meters away. The chain continues until it runs out of fuel or runs out of tunnel. The IRGC designed their missile cities for rapid deployment. Missiles stored close together on rail systems, no blast doors to slow the transport cycle, no separation walls to add seconds to the launch sequence. Every decision that made the system fast made this chain reaction worse. The 60-second reload cycle that was supposed to give the IRGC sustained combat capability is the same design feature that turns a single tunnel breach into a mass detonation event. The thermal effects compound the problem. Research on thermobaric and high explosive detonations inside tunnels, published in the journal Shock and Vibration, found that the confined fireball sustains temperatures far longer than an open-air explosion. The flame does not disperse. It follows the tunnel geometry. Temperatures remain lethal well beyond the initial blast radius. For a missile loaded with liquid hypergolic propellant, like the Shahab-3, the thermal environment causes propellant rupture and toxic vapor release even without direct blast fragment contact. The deeper the tunnel, the worse the problem. Depth that was supposed to protect makes the confined space more enclosed, gives the blast wave more surfaces to reflect from, traps more of the afterburning energy inside the structure. There is a counter-argument. Some facilities have been designed with offset chambers, tunnels that bend at angles to reduce direct blast propagation. Engineers can install blast doors between storage sections. Expansion chambers, excavated pockets offset from the main tunnel axis, can trap debris and absorb fragment energy. Whether the
From what they've hit so far, been able to, if they knock out the door and can get a missile to go right inside that tunnel, then they're able to explode them all.
IRGC installed any of these measures remains an open question. The March 2025 propaganda video showed no evidence of them. The Hajiabad facility struck in March 2026 used entrance ceiling munitions, GBU-72s, alongside BLU-109 JDAMS to collapse access points. Post-strike assessments from open-source analysts reported that tunnel entrances were destroyed. The deep underground silos, according to Defense Security Asia, remained structurally intact. The question is, what condition the weapons inside those silos are in. An intact tunnel with sympathetically detonated contents is not a functional weapon system. It is a sealed tomb full of propellant residue and shattered casings.
This time it's free.
CENTCOM's
Ben, I didn't know you charged.
Mohsen Rezai, a senior IRGC military advisor, warned on July 18th that Iran would enter a phase of full-scale offensive operations if American attacks continued for 2 or 3 more days. That timeline pressure tells a story of its own. A military with unlimited reserves does not set a 72-hour deadline on its own patience. A military watching its inventory burn inside its own tunnels does. The IRGC spent 2 decades solving the wrong problem. They engineered against penetration, they hardened against the weapon coming in. They never engineered against the physics of what happens once a weapon gets through. The granite protects the tunnel from external force. Inside, it amplifies the blast wave. The rail systems move missiles quickly. They also place those missiles within sympathetic detonation range of each other. The sealed geometry preserves air pressure. It also preserves the afterburning chain. Iran chose granite because it is indestructible. They stored their missiles in open tunnels because speed mattered more than separation. The combination created a weapon system that cannot be penetrated from outside and cannot survive from within. The rock was formed before mammals existed.
Right,
the
a
physics was
motorcycle,
always there. Whether CENTCOM's seventh night triggered what the physics predicts, no one outside a classified briefing room knows. If this is the kind of engineering breakdown other channels skip, subscribe to Eagle Eye Military.
You guys are funny. What do you guys think of that report? So I think there's going to be a bunch of those tunnels are going down with all the missiles in them. I know they got several places that they're launching from. All right, I expected her to have her on for a bit, so I'm going to change subjects here. This is a trans. Well, this guy, watch how smart this guy is debating this dude, which is a trans, pretend to be a woman. Watch this. This is actually funny. Watch his logic on. He wants to identify as black. Watch this.
Well, I identify as black, so there's that.
Are you black? You don't look very black.
I identify as black.
What does that mean?
Identify as black. That's just, I'm going to label myself black because I want to.
But you're not black?
What is black? What is black? What is black, though?
You're like filling out an application.
Yeah.
Right, like for school or something like that. What would you check in like the race or ethnicity box?
Black, whatever, if black's available.
Interesting.
Well, you check a woman, you're a man?
Race and gender are two different things.
They're both biological, so how can you check a different sex, but I can't check a different ethnicity?
Neither sex nor gender is biological.
Sex is biological. XXXY chromosomes, you're one or the other. You can't change your sex. So you're saying you can change your gender or your sex, but you can't change your race?
Yeah, they're different. Yeah.
They're not different. They're both biological.
So again, neither gender nor race are biological.
So then if neither are, then I can identify as black. No problem. You just said it's not biological, so then it's not.
Yeah, but race and gender are two different things. This is kind of like a false equivalency.
They're two different things, but both rooted in biology. But if you can change one, you can change the
neither
other.
of them are biological, actually.
So then you can change your race on a dime.
They're biological. Just because it's not biological doesn't mean you can change it.
Of course you can. If it's not biological, then I can change it. That it's literally just whatever I want it to be.
Race is about what you are. It's about like the ethnic background by which you are identified by the state you exist within.
Identified by the state? What if the state doesn't identify it?
Well,
the state identifies you as black.
Race is a structure upheld by the state.
But let's say there's a state that doesn't uphold that. Then what?
Then there wouldn't be race.
Okay, so let's say I live in a state that doesn't talk about race. They don't ask you about race. Then I can identify as black in that state?
Well, you wouldn't identify as anything, right? Because there's no race.
But I could. I just don't have to mark it on a form, but I could go in public and say, if someone asks me...
race is a legal construct as imposed by the state. Like, if you were to exist within a state and a world, hypothetically, that did not impose race upon somebody based on the color of their skin, then you would have no concept of race in general.
Of course you would. People would identify with different races, ethnicities. People identify as different things, right? Just because the state doesn't say it doesn't mean I can't believe it and I can't assert it.
No, you're misunderstanding.
Of course I can.
Me. You're misunderstanding me again.
So you're biologically male, but you can change your sex identification without changing anything about you, your genitals, any of that.
Change your gender.
You're trying to conflate gender and sex. Let's go with sex. It's a biological.
I'm doing the exact opposite of that. I'm saying they're not the same thing.
So, what I'm saying is, if you can change your sex,
that's the opposite of conflating.
You can change.
Right? That's literally the
your
opposite
race. Of the race is whatever you want. You could be mixed race, right? And then you can identify with whichever one you want.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, bro. I don't give a shit.
Right. So why? So you're trying to say that only you can change something, but other people can't.
Only me?
Yeah.
No.
Only the transgenders.
Gender and race are two separate constructs.
Yes. Then they're both biological.
Again, neither of
That's my
them are
point.
based in biology. You
Both
have a
are.
fundamental
So you're delusional, and you think neither sex or gender are based in biology? That's crazy, man.
Gender is not based in biology.
Of course it is. So how do they know what a male is and a female is at birth?
So that's sex, right?
Okay, now you're confusing again. Let's go with sex. How do they know your sex?
Good job not saying conflating, because you know that's
So
the
is
wrong
is
word.
sex is
I'm
sex
not confusing
biological?
them. I'm telling you that they're two different things.
Is sex biological though?
No shit, dumbass.
Okay, so it is. You fucking
He hung
idiot.
up. He hung up on him. He couldn't win that argument. I just found that as funny as heck. All right, this next one, it's got to be for Colin. I hope you're out there, Colin, right now. This is about Scottish politics. Watch this. Oh, and she's got such a heavy accent, I have a hard time understanding it. Let me know in chat there if everyone understands her pretty well.
Oh, Humza, I seen you posting about dog whistles. So I need to ask, are you alright? Because I seem to remember you peddling hate, specifically that speech about how we're too white. And yet I sat quiet with this opinion. It was one I hesitated to share. But that's the plan, to dull our voice, hope you leave us mute and scared. The lies you tell to spin a yarn, an agenda propped up by misinformation, statements made to separate. Do you want scheme segregation? Because it's people like you slinging your mud that stokes the hatred and division. If I stood here and said Pakistan was too brown, I would probably end up in prison. But yet here you are, free reign it seems, a man who can say what he likes, a man who will always fuel the flames when racial tensions ignite. And whilst I'm here, let's just address your posts of downright fiction, when those two wee lassies, Fade and Dee, were defamed in your depiction. You know the one, you were quick to judge, quick to peddle your lies and hate, told the public not to listen to misinformation and that it wasn't up for debate. And yet now it's actually been confirmed that you, Humza, were full of shite. So please tell us, what was your problem? Was it because the two lasses were white? And according to you, Rupert Lowe has put a target on Muslims' backs. It was nothing to do with the rape of Britain. The cheek he has to publish bare facts. He should stay silent about the decades-long molestation, rape and abuse of hundreds of thousands of white working-class girls. I mean it, Rupert. Shut your mouth. And just this week, another belter for you. Severe terror threat reported. Outside a Muslim gathering down south, 12 individuals have been thwarted. But what it doesn't tell you is that the gathering of which they speak is banned by countries all over the world. No here, of course, because we're weak. And in actual fact, those accused, everyone, have now been released. No charges were ever brought after extensive investigations by police. So let's no rely on Humza for breaking news. What he brings won't withstand scrutiny. The ex-First Minister of Scotland and his race baiting with immunity. And it's got me wondering why he lies so much. Is it to strike fear into non-believers? Or is that just a convenient coincidence in the practice of Tawriya?
Yeah, I had to read the subtitles as she was saying all that because her accent's very, very heavy to me. But she was absolutely right, 100% right. It's a whole race card crap all the time. I don't know. This is good humor on this one. She makes fun of the whole racist crap. It's a black lady making fun of it. And the Democratic
What you got
Party.
there, gal? Oh, I uses them to clean the windows, sir. You thought I was reading these fancy papers? Oh, no, sir. I know you's got to tell me how to think, sir. I knows better not to read this. And I remember you told me if I don't do what you told me to do, that means I ain't black. And I was just as black as the day is long, sir. Yes, indeed. You been using them words we taught you. Oh, yes, sir. I uses them words loud, proud, and strong. Anytime one of them highfalutin Negroes come around here telling me to read some kind of fancy paper for myself, I calls them coon and bootlickers. I sure do, sir. And the rest of them around this plantation, they've been saying another word. They said sellout. I know you ain't teach it to me, sir, but it sounded awful fancy, so I decided to use it for myself. I got some new words. Oh, yes, sir. I was learning real good. What is this, sir? It's dictator, fascist, and Nazi. Oh, okay. Dictator. Fascist. Nazi. Okay, sir. Those sound awful fancy, so what they mean. Don't matter what they mean. You right, sir. You right, sir. Pardon. I gets ahead of myself. I know that I shouldn't ask you nothing. I know that you tell me what's best, sir. Don't matter what they mean. Just matters that you told me to say them, and I got to learn them real good. Yes, sir. You got them leftovers? Oh, yes, sir. We got them leftovers. We sure mighty obliged for them, sir. Yeah, Overseer Crockett, Overseer Obama, and Overseer Waters told us you sent them, sir. Because we wouldn't be able to get by without your handouts and your program, so we can't do it on our own. And they make sure they remind us of that, sir. Yes, indeed, they do. We got some more leftovers coming, on the first? Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, thank you, sir. Because they even told us, they talking about we got to get some identification. And we knows we can't do that on our own. We are not smart enough. We need you. That's right. That's right, sir. I appreciate you for dropping by here, letting us know that you're still thinking about us, sir. All right. All for good. All right, sir. Thank you for dropping by. Okay. Look away, Dixieland.
She's making fun of the left, actually. You'll love this.
In the next decade, over 1 million Chinese communists will be able to vote in American elections. Thanks to birth tourism, Chinese billionaires are paying surrogates to birth their children on U.S. soil so that the babies are American citizens. For the show today, I've invited Peter Schweitzer, author of The Invisible Coup, the investigative journalist who reported on this initially. What is the actual hard evidence of this?
So the hard evidence comes from Chinese sources. Just to back up, this issue of birth tourism, where you can travel to the United States, give birth, and then return to your country and your child is a U.S. citizen. Our federal government does not keep track of any of these numbers. So when you get a birth certificate in the United States, it does not list the nationality of the parent. So you ask our federal government, you ask the Trump administration, how often is this happening? They have zero idea. Now, the Chinese government has come out and estimated. They believe that beginning in 2012, 2013, something like 50,000 Chinese babies a year have been born in the United States on average every single year. But there are other estimates that are even higher. There's a Professor Salvatore Barbonis from Australia. He thinks the number's twice that. He thinks that it's 100,000 a year. Based on his reporting of the industry. And then there are other research firms. There's a Chinese research firm, I quote in the book, that believes in a single year in 2018, there were 180,000 Chinese that were born in the United States. So the numbers are all over. But if you look at those on average, you are looking over a 13-year time period, anywhere from around 1 million to 1.5 million Chinese babies that are being raised in China. But because they were born here, their parents traveled here for the sole purpose of giving birth here, they are U.S. citizens and they're going to be able to vote. And that wave is going to start to really crest beginning in 20.
Now, remember, they can grow up, be American citizen since they were born, even though they lived over there, and become president or a lot of offices.
30. And when you look at a lot of the companies, the Chinese birth tourism companies, there's more than 1,000 of them today operating in China. They advertise openly in China. The Chinese government has encouraged this. The Chinese government is allowing this massive industry to operate. Members of the Chinese Communist Party elite are doing this.
Yep, more to that come. Here's why debating leftists feels like banging your head against a post.
Here's why talking politics with the modern left feels like banging your head against a wall. Anyone who has ever tried knows the feeling. You present facts, evidence, or plain common sense, and what comes back is a wave of emotional outrage. The worst part is that it's no longer possible to live a normal life without running into politics. Schools, workplaces, museums, sports, entertainment, universities. Every corner of life has been swallowed by ideology. We live in a society held hostage by people who insist their fantasies outrank reality. And the reason is simple. We are being tyrannized by delusions. Most people debate from reality outward, but the modern left debates from utopia inward. This inversion comes straight from the Frankfurt School, the intellectual factory that produced nearly every strand of woke dogma now embedded in academia and the public sector. Their central idea was the utopian horizon. Imagine a world without hierarchy or domination, then condemn the real world for failing to match the fantasy. Once you understand this, the entire ideological landscape snaps into focus. They argued that the family reproduces hierarchy and must be reimagined. Schools must radicalize children against power structures instead of educating them. Culture manufactures consent, therefore culture must be engineered. Even language encodes power and must be bent to social justice aims. In this worldview, every institution is guilty unless proven innocent, and innocence is impossible because the benchmark is utopian perfection. So critical theory always finds oppression. If a system works, it's stabilizing power. If a system fails, that's also power at work. If people consent, they're duped by power. If they dissent, the system shaped their frustration. It's a closed loop. You're not debating ideas, you're debating someone who believes the real world is illegitimate by default. Modern offshoots, such as critical race theory, gender theory, decolonization studies, and feminism, all use the same engine. Imagine a utopian world. Identify gaps between their imagination and the real world. Declare those gaps as oppression, then demand society must be remade. This is why discussing politics with the modern left feels like arguing with someone who's hallucinating. They construct a perfect world in their mind, one without conflict, cost, trade-offs, or human nature, then label anything that falls short as bigotry, privilege, or violence. The obsession with race, LGBTQ politics, feminism, and decolonization is not random. It's the metric they use to measure how far reality deviates from the dream. You're not arguing with people who misread the world, you're arguing with people who believe the real world is wrong for existing.
Yep, John. Sorry, I was just about to type here. Okay, let's go with, here's about profound words.
By bullet or by ballot? I would say that that's a phrase that doesn't really mince any words or leave really anything to the imagination. And well, believe it or not, that is the mantra of Islam concerning America and the West. If you don't believe me, just take a quick listen.
I find that there are only two things which are open to our movements: ballot or bullet, nothing in between.
Because in the United States, what we do know is that in the past election, just this last election, there have been over 800 Muslim candidates running for office.
That's really the essence of dismantling the system.
I used to say that democracy is haram. Now I say participation in democracy is our jihad. That's our jihad. We're going to fight not through the bullets, but...
Here's the thing. They understand that they can't take America by bullet, because we have our own Second Amendment rights and we will use them if necessary. This ideology is not a new one and it's not a dumb one. And they also very clearly understand how to exploit our freedoms and our empathies in order to get what they want. Well, what do they want? Well, that would be total and complete domination, the erasure of anything that is Western or Christian culture. They do not seek to coexist. They seek to dominate. It is a part of their ideology. It is a part of their very being. It is haram for them not to want to eradicate that which is our American culture. And I have news for you if you are an apologist. I have news for you if you are an empathetic Westerner. I have news for you if you think that I'm crazy. You are exactly who they're targeting. And you're exactly the first people that they will eradicate if they ever, God forbid, in Jesus' name, come into power in America. And you don't even have to take my word for it. They keep telling you this.
Yep, 100%. I'm going to do three little short, funny ones. Then I'll close it out with a good one. Hold on. Here's three little short ones that are humor. You got to look close for this, though. Wow. Did you catch that with the buffalo? All right, here's another one. That was manure. And here's another one kind of similar. This is CNN and ABC, all those. I'd be feeding the liberals. I'm going to close it out with, what was it, this one? Yeah, I was going to go with this one. Now, let me explain. So up in Canada, the border for Canada, they're coming from USA to get up there because they're being kicked off our welfare. So they're going up there, these Nigerians, to get up into Canada illegally so they can get onto their welfare system. So we're getting them off our welfare system. So they're going to Canada to get into their country because they have welfare. Because they don't want to work.
At this point, you are in the United States of America. Does anybody have a valid visa currently for the United States? Yes. Even if it expires soon? Yes. Yes. Are you aware that the...
Now, they all have visas for the United States, but they're trying to break into Canada because they can get the free benefits, and they're not getting them anymore here in America. Trump's cutting them off.
The very minute you cross this border, your status in the United States is nullified. Yes. Okay. Have you started a refugee claim in the United States? No. Is there a reason why you have not?
What?
Is there a reason why you're choosing not to do a refugee claim status in the United States? As opposed to traveling to Canada to do the very same thing?
Yeah, you must hear from us first.
I do. Yes. Pardon? Yes. Do you know that there is a legal port not 3 kilometers from here where you can enter the country legally through the channels that are
100%.
established? Yes? This is not a legal port of entry. This is an illegal point. This is not a way to get in. Okay. Is the reason why you're choosing here as opposed to trying to go through the channels like everybody else that does?
No, we want to go through this one right here.
Okay, so you're aware that by crossing here, you're committing an...
So they could try to do it legally, but they're so desperate to get in there and get that welfare. They won't walk a few miles or get transportation to go through a port of entry and apply the normal way.
Illegal act. Yes, ma'am. Are you sure that you want the beginning of your life in Canada to start with an illegal act?
Yes. Future in Canada. That's why I'm here.
But you can start that same future in Canada at the legal port.
We want this place.
Why? Because I want the way.
And I'm going to try to get Miss Iran back on. They're seeing this that the regime is going down, that they're on their way down, and it's going to happen soon.
Do you have any family in Canada? I don't have any family. Do you have any family in Canada? No. Are you planning to claim refugee status in Canada?
Yes. Refugee? Yes, please.
Yes. Where are we coming from? Which countries?
Sorry?
Which countries?
Nigeria.
Okay. Are you aware that should your refugee class status be refused through Immigration Canada, you will be returned not to the United States, but in fact to your home country of Nigeria?
I understand.
Yes.
So you may be refused that either way, correct? You're aware of that? The difference is, and I want to be clear though, the difference is if you're refused here, you're returned directly to Nigeria. However, since you have legal status in the United States, if you're refused there, you're returned to the United States.
No, I don't want to return back to the United States.
We want Canada here. We want Canada here.
We are staying in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that just because you come here doesn't mean you get to stay.
Yes.
Native language.
You understand what it is?
Yes.
We understand that.
And we believe in this.
Yes. Do you have any questions for me?
No. We just want to come in. That's it. No. Please.
For the fact that we believe in Canada, that Canada can solve our problems. That's why we are here.
We
And we don't have any other choice to go back.
Our mind is made up. We want to come into Canada.
Because we know Canada can save our life illegally. That's the way we're here right now. We understand everything you just said right now. And that is what we want right now. We want to come in illegally.
I'm trying to understand why it is that you want to start your lives in Canada by
They want to come in from the United States into Canada illegally. Just because they're not getting their welfare.
legal act, rather than doing what everybody else who also wants to start their life in Canada is doing illegally. Why is it that you
Forget your
okay illegally while everybody else still is choosing to do it legally?
I don't want to go through it legally. I want to come in here because right now I understand I'm illegal if I go through this court. That is why, and I want to just go it. I want to follow my heart. Okay, I got the court.
And they're illegals, and they're just letting them in. And they're going to get on the welfare rolls.
Come on, with the bag.
It's not like they're in any danger being in USA. It's all about the free money. Isn't it ridiculous? Absolutely ridiculous. And when Biden was in, that was happening to us because they were coming in for all the free stuff, all those NGOs and all that kind of stuff. And it's happening 24 hours a day up there. It's ridiculous. All right, I'm going to end this. I tried to put it right to the top of the hour and not exactly. It was close. All right, take care. God bless everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Game plan is 8:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. 8:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you there. Take care. God bless.